the Vanessa problem. I'm going to do the same thing as the gullible one and kind of highlight in different colors so we can see the different intervals of time and what's happening in each. Okay, so here Vanessa must empty her above the ground pool, which is 1,000 gallons. Okay, so she's emptying, that means it's going to be draining. So it's going to decrease from 1,000, right, until it's 0. Okay, so the first thing says she pulls a drain and the gallons start pouring out of the pool at a steady rate for the next hour. So for the next hour, steady rate, next hour, and reaching a volume of 250 gallons. Okay, so this is my start point, 1,000 gallons, and then she starts pouring it out for 1 hour and it reaches 250. Okay, Vanessa's little brother Roy wants to give Vanessa more work, so he starts filling the pool. Okay, so during the next 15 minutes that this is happening, the water goes back to 300 gallons. So that's my next interval. Okay, so finally, for 15 minutes, the pool starts draining again. Okay, so from here, for the next 15 minutes, the pool starts draining. Okay, at 200 gallons, so for 15 minutes it reaches 200 gallons, the water is below drain level, so it stops draining. It takes Vanessa 30 minutes to figure it out. Okay, so from here, for 30 minutes, the water stops draining, so nothing is happening to the volume. Okay, then after that, she has to do it by hand, and so for the next hour and a half, she drains the remaining water with the bucket until it's empty. Okay, so we have the starting point, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intervals of time. Okay, until this is happening. So here we have the two variables, which is gallons of water and time. And we need to figure out which one's a dependent and independent variable. So does the time depend on how many gallons are in the pool, or do the gallons in the pool depend on how much time has gone by? So in this case, the gallons in the pool depend on the time that goes by. So the independent variable would be time, and this is in minutes. The dependent variable would be gallons, okay, of water, so volume. And it's going to be in gallons, okay? Intervals of time, I think we're missing one here because the starting point, right? So at 0, or at time 0, we know that the pool is 1,000 gallons. Okay? Then we have our orange. Okay, our orange time, it is 1 hour, so after 1 hour, we are 250 gallons. That's our orange. Okay. Then 15 minutes, it goes up to 300. So plus 15 minutes more. So we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes now. If you add 15 minutes, we are at 300 gallons. That's the green. Then for 15 minutes more, the water starts draining again, reaching 200 gallons. Okay? So 15 minutes more, I have to add 15. At 1 hour and 30 minutes, 200 gallons. Okay? Then for 30 minutes, nothing happens, right? Vanessa didn't notice that it was not. So 30 more minutes, I have to add 30 more minutes. Okay, so at the 2 hour mark, from that to that, okay, it stays the same, right? Vanessa doesn't notice, so we're still at 200 gallons. Nothing happened there. At hour 2, okay, at hour 2 it's still the same. And then number 6, in the next hour and a half, she drains the remaining water with the bucket until empty. So we're from hour 2 to the next hour and a half, so it will be to 3.5 hours. Okay, it goes to 0 gallons. It's the next interval of time. Okay, so here's from 0. This one would be from 0 to 1 hour. This one would be from 1 to 1:15. This one would be from 1:15 to 1:30, or 1.5. This one will be from 2 hours, stays the same. And then over here from 2 to 3.5 hours. I can write the times over here then, so you don't get confused. Or here it's just at 0. Minutes, I'm sorry, not hours. 0 minutes. Okay, and actually I might change that to hours. Makes more sense. Okay, from here it's going to be from 0 to 1 hour, right? 250 gallons. Here from 1 hour to 1 hour 15 minutes, which is an hour and a quarter. Okay. Here is going to be from 1.25 hours to, or an hour and a quarter, to an hour and a half. This one is going to be from 1 hour and a half to 2 hours, nothing happens. And then here is going to be from 2 hours to 3.5 hours. So now I know that the whole experiment takes 3.5 hours. The gallons, it goes from 1,000 to 0. Okay? I know my independent variable is hours, and here it is minutes. And we're gonna, this is 1 hour here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So that way you know that that's like hours. And over here it's in gallons. So it's kind of already done for us. We don't have to put the lines here. Now we just need to graph it, the whole scenario. So we'll start with the starting value. It's just at 0, it's 1,000 gallons. So that's my point. This would be my first yellow part. All I'm doing is graphing that point from at time 0, we start at 1,000 gallons. From time 0 to 1 hour, it goes to 250. Okay, so here's 1 hour, and I'm going to go from 1,000 gallons to 250 gallons. Okay, this is by 50s, so this would be 200, 300, 400. Okay, so 250 will be right here. Okay, so in the first hour, it goes from 1,000 to 250. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that line. This is, and this is going to be in orange. Okay? And from 1 hour to an hour and a quarter, or an hour and 15 minutes, it's going to go to 300 gallons. So I'm here, and I need 15 more minutes. Okay, so about there. That's 15 more minutes. Okay, from there it's going to go to 300. So it was here, and I'm going to go back up to 300, and that's my green portion. Okay, then from that time, from 1:15 to 1:50, so an hour and a half, I go to 200 gallons. Okay, so from there to an hour and 30 minutes. Right there. I'm going to go to 200 gallons, so right here. and that's going to be in yellow. Okay? When it says that for the next half an hour, nothing happens. Vanessa doesn't know that this is not draining, right? So half an hour will be two more little squares here, and it stays the same. Vanessa doesn't know that it stopped draining for that amount of time. Okay? Then, excuse me, for hour 2 to hour 3.5, right, she empties it. So for the next hour and a half, which takes us to an hour, right here, 3.5 hours, she empties the pool. And that will be in this color. Okay? So this is what the graph would look like for the Vanessa's pool. Okay? And we have to there and stay over an hour, it goes from 1,000 to 250. For the next 15 minutes, it goes from 250 to 200. For the next 15 minutes, it goes from 200 to 250. From 250 to 200. And then for 30 minutes, it's the same because Vanessa doesn't know what's happening. And then from hour 2 to 3.5, she finally has to empty the bucket. Okay, so that's the graph look like. The questions are, what is G of 135 mean? Okay, so G of 135, that means that when time is 135 minutes. Okay, so this is 120 at hour 2. Every slot is 15 more minutes. So an hour and 35 would be here. Okay? What does that mean in the context of the problem? So an hour and 35 minutes, we are at about between 150 and 200 gallons, so right here. Okay? So we would say at 135 minutes, or 2 hours and 15 minutes, there are approximately, okay, and over here would be about 150, maybe 155, 155 gallons of water in the pool. And you can estimate this differently, whatever you see there. Okay? Why is the graph steeper on interval of time 0 to 60? So right here at 0 to 60, the orange. That's the interval of time 0 to 60, the orange. Why is it steeper than 120 to 210? Okay, so 120 to 210 is the last part. Why is the orange part steeper than the yellow part? Okay, when on the orange part, the pool is draining faster because she just pulled the plug and there's a lot of water and it's just draining. And this one, she has to do it by the bucket. So it's not draining faster. Every time she has to put the bucket and then throw away the water. So she's not only throwing it away, or throwing it out. Okay? So, in time interval 0 to 60, the pool is draining at a faster rate. Then on interval 120 to 10, then Vanessa is emptying the pool by the bucket. Okay? Something like that. Right? The key to these problems is that when you read it, you gather the information and know what the intervals of times are. So here I color-coded them and I color-coded them here so that you know what to graph. Okay? In this case, Vanessa's working or the pool is emptying from hour 0 to 3.5 hours. So it took a total of 3.5 hours to empty the pool. And then just like in the gulliver problem, here there's a space of 30 minutes when nothing is happening. So the pool is actually draining, right, for 30 minutes. It's not draining at all. That's the only time where it kind of stopped. So that means that the total draining time is 3 hours, if they were to ask you that, okay? All right, I hope this helped and you're ready to go for tomorrow's part 2 of the exam.